with the program, be a team player. When a person feels I am not personally responsible, I am not accountable, it's the role I'm playing, or these are the orders I've gotten, then you allow yourself to do things you would never do under ordinary circumstances.
I began to feel that I was losing my identity, that the person that I call Clay, the person who put me in this place, the person who volunteered to go into this prison, because it was a prison to me, it still is a prison to me. I don't look on it as an experiment or a simulation. It was just a prison that was run by psychologists instead of run by the state.
I had really thought that I was incapable of this kind of behavior. I was surprised, even no, I was dismayed to find out that I could really be that I could act in a manner so absolutely unaccustomed to anything I would even really dream of doing. And while I was doing it, I didn't feel any regret. I didn't feel any guilt. It was only afterwards, when I began to reflect on what I had done, that this behavior began to dawn on me, and I realized that this was a part of me I hadn't really noticed before.
I feel so up inside. I feel really up inside. You don't know. I gotta go. To a doctor, anything. I can't stay in there. I'm up. I don't know how to explain it. I'm all up inside. I want out! Out now! God damn it. I'm up. You don't know. I mean, God. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm burning up inside. Don't you know? I just can't take it.
The scene you just saw was at the end of only 36 hours into this study. Each day after that, another prisoner had a similar reaction. And so at the end of 5 days, we had 5 kids we chose because they were normal and healthy, having emotional breakdowns.
You put a uniform on and are given a role, a job, saying your job is to keep these people in line, then you're certainly not the same person as if you were in street clothes and in a different role. You really become that person once you put on that khaki uniform, you put on the glasses, you take the nightstick, and you act the part. That's your costume, and you have to act accordingly when you put it on.
It harms me.
Why?
I mean harms. I mean in the present tense, it harms me.
How did it harm you? How does it harm you? Just to think about it, you mean that people can be like that?
Yeah. It let me in on some knowledge that I've never experienced firsthand. I've read about it. I've read a lot about it. But I've never experienced it firsthand. I've never seen someone turn that way. And I know you're a nice guy. You know?
You
Do you understand? I do. I do know you're a nice guy.
Then
I don't get bad because I know what you can turn into.
It surprised me that no one said anything to stop me. No one said, Carmen, you can't say those things to me. Those things are sick. Nobody said that. They just accepted what I said. I said, go tell that man to the face he's the scum of the earth, and they'd do it without question. They'd do push-ups without question. They'd sit in the hole. They'd abuse each other. And here they're supposed to have they're supposed to be together as a unit in jail, but here they're abusing each other because I requested them to, and no one questioned my authority at all. And it really shocked me. Why didn't people, when I started to abuse people so much, I started to get so profane that, and still people didn't say anything.
But that's what happened to Jim Jones, is he forgot what his mission was to help people and bring God to them. And he became so caught up in the role of being a leader that it became huge, enormous. And that's when you kind of lose it, because you get so caught up in the roles. And you know what? I just want to say something is, I know probably a lot of you work already, and we have to be really careful not to get caught up in the role, because we get so caught up that we forget to see people as real. It happens with us, our teachers, is in the beginning as teachers, we start to be like really, oh, I just want to see them as humans and so on and so forth, and I want to be such a nice teacher. And then as the years wear on and you get this excuse, that excuse, this excuse, that excuse, you get caught up in that role as I'm the teacher, you're the student, you have to do things the way that I say. And it's really, and I mean, those of you that are nurses or something, I know a lot of you said you wanted to be a nurse, is in the beginning when you start, you help people, but the more as time wears on, you get caught up in the role of being a nurse, as I know best, you don't know what best, let me do my job, and we become a little bit more colder. It happens with police officers. As a lot of people say, I hate police officers. But you know, as you sit in your classes at school, there's probably some people that are going to be police officers in there. And you say, you know, they're right there, they're so nice. And so when they first enter the academy, then they're very nice. I'm here to be a police officer to help people. But then the more and more they get into the job, they get caught up in the role as I'm the police officer, you're not, and I am going to tell you what to do. And we start, when we get caught up in the role, we forget about humanity because we're so busy being caught up in the role. Okay, so social roles explains why he became so powerful that he thought that he could tell everybody to die. Conformity is when we do what everyone else does. And this is what caused them all to kind of commit suicide. Okay, everyone else is committing suicide. I'm going to commit suicide. Can you guys imagine what you're going to see? You're going to see whole families commit suicide. A mother with their child, with their, you know, with their husband. Compliance. Compliance is once you, that's when you do something because someone asked you to. And so that's probably how they initially got into the cult, and this is how, you know, other people are kind of doing that. And then they're also being obedient. They're doing what Jim Jones says. And then we talked about cognitive dissonance is the uncomfortable feeling we have when our thoughts do not match our actions. How can somebody question this person that they've been obedient to all the time? Since they've been obedient in the past, they don't want to step out, and there we go. So let's take a look at the video now.
Come, children. Come to the pavilion. Everybody come to the pavilion. Bring your families. Let's all come to the pavilion for one final moment together.
Huh. Sounds like Dad wants us to have another one of his loyalty tests.
It's time to leave all our fears and frustrations behind. It's time to take a final step together to eternal life. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you all. That's right. Bring your families. Everyone come to the pavilion. That's right. I want all my children to come to the pavilion for one final moment. Hurry, hurry, my children. Please hurry. In spite of all that I've tried, a handful of our people with their lies have made our life impossible. There's no way to detach ourselves from what's happened today. We're sitting here waiting on a powder keg. Hurry, hurry, my children. Please hurry.
18.
We have been so betrayed. We've been so terribly betrayed. Are we all here? How very much I've tried to give you a good life. It's been said by the greatest prophets since time immemorial, no man takes my life from me, I lay my life down. If we can't live in peace, then let's die in peace. Now what's going to happen here in a matter of a few minutes is that one of our people is going to shoot the people who left. I didn't tell him to do it, I didn't plan it, but I know it's going to happen. That's just as plain as I can tell you. And I've never lied to you. I never have lied to you. So my opinion is, you be kind to children. You be kind to seniors. And you take the potion like they did in ancient Greece and step over quietly. Because we're not committing suicide. It's a revolutionary act. The people in San Francisco will not be idle over this. They'll not take our deaths in vain, you know. Jenny.
What about Russia? Is it too late for Russia?
It's too late. It's too late. Those people are out there. They're out there with their guns. I can't control them, and once they kill anybody, you think Russia is going to want us with all this stigma? Before we had value, but now we have no value to them.
Well, I feel like that as long as there's life, there's hope. That's my faith.
Sooner or later, that hope runs out because everybody dies. I never saw anybody yet who didn't die. Now, I'd like to choose my own kind of death for a change because I am tired of being tormented to hell. That's what I am tired of. I'm tired.
Yes, but Dad, I'd like to choose mine too. It's not that I'm afraid to die.
I know you're not.
It's just that I look around at all these children and I think they deserve to live.
I agree, but don't they deserve much more? Don't they deserve peace?
Yes, you are standing here today because he was here in the first place. Your life has been expended to this day because of him. You can't talk about individual life.
Paul says, there's a man born out of due season. Well, I have been born out of due season, just like we all are, and the best testimony we can make is to leave this damn world. Stop.
Dad, I just want to say, you were the only one who helped me when nobody else would. And if you want me to die because you want us to die today, I'll do it for you. We'll all go for you.
The congressman has been murdered. All over. What a legacy. It's all over. What a legacy. The congressman is dead. Please get us some medication. It's simple. It's just simple. Just please get it before it's too late. I'm telling you, you have got to move. You got to move.
Y'all gotta move. Now you people that are standing there in the aisle, you get back behind this table. And then back this way, okay?
Mother, please. If you knew what was ahead of you, you'd be glad to be stepping over. Oh, let's be dignified. Don't do this. I call on you to stop this nonsense.
There is nothing to worry about. Now everybody keep calm and try to keep the children calm, okay? Now you children, I want you to lug up those little children and start administering them. They're not crying out of any pain. It's only a little bitter taste.
I just want to say something to everybody who is standing around or crying. This is nothing to cry about. This is something that we can all rejoice about. I have had a gorgeous life. I've had a beautiful life. So you should be happy. I know I am.
God Almighty. I don't care how many screams you hear. I don't care how many cries of anguish. Death is 1,000,000 times preferable than 10 more days in this life. I strongly maintain to lay down your burdens. I'm going to lay down my burdens down by the riverside. Shall we lay them down here inside of Guyana? What's the difference? We've lived as no other people have lived and loved. We've had as much of this world as you're going to get. Out there. They'll torture our seniors. They'll torture our children. We cannot have this. Please, can we hasten? Can we hasten with our medication? Please.
If you finish it all, it won't hurt. They killed Mama. All the hypodermic needles have been used. Okay. Well, help.
Do I have to, Dad?
Yes, my son. I'll find you in the next world. Death is like forever. Hurry, children, hurry, hurry, hurry. They've robbed us of our land, and they've taken us, and they've driven us. We tried to find ourselves. We tried to find a new beginning, but it's too late. The congressman, but as far as I'm concerned, I killed him. He had no business coming. I told him not to come. Oh, free at last, free at last. I tried so very, very hard. We used to sing, this world, it's not our home. Well, it sure isn't. We're going to set an example for others. 1,000 people who said, we don't like the way the world is. Take our life from us. We laid it down. We got tired. We didn't commit suicide. We committed a revolutionary act of suicide protesting the conditions of an inhumane world.